Hello, Bat Bat. Are you coming up? There's Bat. How are you, honey? Hi, Bat. Hi, sweetie. How are you? Yeah, nice girl. What? She's so on to me. Can't believe it. What's wrong? Yeah, you know I'm using you as my co-host. I'm cheap. Can't hire a co-host. Welcome to the 31 Days of King Juggernaut. I am Karen Stever. That is my co-host, Bat. Bat BB of the Bat BBs of the Bat. Yeah, she's nice. Love her, love her, love her. Today's puzzle piece. And every day I release a puzzle piece so that I can show you the cover of this book by October 31st. Today's puzzle piece is a goose. And it's a gander that is, you always put hair on my mouth. Back to the Barnyard is the name of the chapter, and the gander is featured in that one. So I thought I would read some for you from the book. I'm not showing you the cover yet. This elephant, though, is, I can show you that. Made some homemade bookmarks here. They, this is them. So that is the King Juggernaut, New York City. Won't it be fun to make bookmarks for all the books? So they're metal, and then they've been painted, and I will sign the back for you. So you can grab those from the store. If you've already ordered the book and you want to get the bookmark and you don't want to pay for shipping on the bookmark because it's going to, if you order it now, I'll package it with your book, hit me up and I'll give you a free shipping code, okay? So I will read from page 166. Okay, so they are at the Children's Asylum, and there's a Serenity Yard back there, and that's where Ian is. Ms. Millard, I've talked to her about her in a previous chapter, did indeed know these grounds, and she knew exactly where Ian was. She found him standing in the middle of the Serenity Yard, but the animals were all inside. "Would you like to see the goose?" she asked calmly. Ian swung around quickly as he was startled to see her. "Oh, it's no problem. Hold on a second. Would you like to know why he's so moody?" The big gander was pacing back and forth as though he was protecting a palace. When Ian got a chance to look past him, he saw some baby chicks, but they weren't geese. They were chickens. "Isn't that the strangest thing you've seen? Not only are they baby chickens, but he isn't even a mother," she laughed. It was peculiar. Sorry, Bat, what are you looking? Bat. Yeah, don't like, there's a light over there that she's, I don't know why she likes the taste of it. "Isn't that the strangest thing you've ever seen? Not only are they baby chickens, but he isn't even a mother." It was peculiar, but who was going to tell him anything to the contrary? "He took a shining to our resident hen, and I suppose he believes he's a better father. Would you like to play a game with him?" Play a game is such a bizarre thing for any adult to suggest to Ian. He was definitely interested in what she meant, though. "Come and see. It is great fun," she said, waving him towards the pond. He followed her over to the garden hose, and she turned it on. "You simply just spray it at the ground. Give him a few moments, and he will become quite interested in what you're doing." Of course, Ian just wanted to watch. "Here, allow me to show you," she said as she sprayed it just above the gander's head. He flipped his wings, honked, and jumped into the air to grab the water. "Isn't that just hysterical?" she laughed. "Would you like to give it a try?" Ian just looked at the gander, who looked back at him. He then sat where he stood. The big gander came walking over to him and sat down calmly beside him. "Oh, how lovely, Ian. He's only done that with children. And not all children, just special ones." Ian laid his hand on the gander's back. "Oh, how nice. The chicks are interested in you too. I think you are finally in your new home. Do you like it here?" And Ian had no response. "I believe you do. Shall we go inside and let your new family know you've arrived?" Ian got up easily and followed her in. I gotta tell you about Harvey. So, when I was growing up in a small Scottish town in Ontario, Canada, there was a river that ran through it. And I worked as a hairstylist a little later on in that town in a salon near the river. In the river, it was about, I don't know, it was like January, February, everything was frozen over. And there was this honking coming from down below in the river. And it was quite a ravine to get down into it. So I heard this honking and I go out there and there's a big white, it was somewhere between a Muscovy duck and a goose, like it was very large. And he was honking and honking like crazy and I was like, how are we gonna get him out? He clearly couldn't get out. You could tell he was tired and he was just disheveled and he kept trying to jump up the sides of the wall and he couldn't get out. So I was like, okay, I gotta find somebody to come and help me rescue this guy. And so I went home and I got my brother and I said, it's either a big duck or a small goose that is down at the bottom of the ravine. Can you please help me try to get him out of there? And my brother was just like, okay, let's go do this thing. And he grabbed a friend of his, Sean, and I wonder what happened to Sean. I should see if he remembers this story as well. He grabbed his friend and they went down and it was an amazing rescue because there's just a lot of ice and snow and it was just very difficult and they all came out soaking wet and probably hypothermia. And by the time they had rescued this goose, everybody was clapping and cheering, like people had gathered up around the sides of the river and, you know, it was just an amazing rescue, much like you'd see some of these rescues on YouTube. I wish we had cell phones back then. And so they got the goose out. And I was like, well, I guess we take it home, right? Like, we put it on my mom's front porch is what we ended up doing with it, and put newspaper down. And we had no plan for this thing. You know, she lives kind of in town, and we just got him in this front porch area. So I went back to work and just started asking some customers and some of my coworkers, you know, does anybody know of a farm or somewhere where we can take this guy that we had named Harvey at this point. And what was really amazing was, I mean, that's a whole other story, but one of the ladies that came to our salon, I had one of my dear friends, Angela, was killed in a car crash, and it was her mother that was in the salon. And she said, oh yeah, I've got a farm I can take it to, no problem. So she took it, and then anyway, I said, well, here's the problem. I think he's a jerk. I think this guy's a bit of a jerk. And she's like, oh, he'll be with the other barnyard animals and it'll be fine. I'm like, okay, well, I really appreciate it because he's quite a handful. So she took it, and then she got back to me. I hadn't seen her because, you know, you come in for your haircuts every 6 weeks or whatever, and I hadn't seen her for a while, and so yeah, I knew her, and I thought I just trusted her with the situation. So when she came in, I was really excited to come up to her and see, you know, how is he adjusting to the farm? How's that going? And she was like, oh my God, Karen. And I was like, what happened? And I said, he was a jerk, wasn't he? She goes, he's kind of a jerk. And I was like, okay, so did he end up as somebody's dinner along the way? She goes, no, but he's been on 4 different farms. I said, oh, she says, yeah, we just kept passing him down and see, you know, the next person was like, oh, I'll keep him. They all liked this heroic story. And so, you know, nobody wanted to kill him for dinner. But she said, but he finally ended up on a farm where they think it's hilarious that he's a jerk. And he seems to have found his place with the other animals. And I was like, oh, that's so good. Like, I love a really good ending like that where, you know, even though this guy's a jerk, he's got himself a home. And then, like, so after she left, I was talking to my coworkers, and I'm like, oh my God, I think that's why he was at the bottom of the river. Because he was such a jerk. I think somebody tossed him in. But you know what was really amazing is nobody would kill him for food because they all knew the big rescue story. So anyway, they were all invested in him at that point. I don't know whatever happened to him after that, but that guy with the jerky if he lived one day, was a very lucky goose. So that's the story of Harvey. So when I was writing Back to the Barnyard, I was picturing this big gander, kind of like a Harvey. I should have just named him Harvey in the book, but Maybe if the movie comes out, somebody will name him Harvey. That's my story. Fun, eh? I think everything that I write comes from somewhere, whether I've just read it online or whether I've lived it or I've seen other people live through it. But animals have been in my life like every single day of my life. They've affected me so much. So that's the story of Harvey. And that is Back to the Barnyard. I told you about the bookmark, right? Yes, I did that. Okay. So if you order the book, I will sign it to you. If you order the bookmark with it, or you're planning on ordering the bookmark with it, just hit me up and I'll give you a free shipping code, okay? There's so many combinations on the site that I haven't done. Like if you're like, oh, I like that t-shirt and I like that book, then just hit me up and I'll try to work out some kind of deal for you, okay? If you want to order more than one item, just please hit me up before you just put it through the register, okay? All right, so I will talk to you tomorrow about the chapter. I'm going to talk to you about one of the other spiders, and his name is Fangs, okay? I'll talk to you about that one tomorrow. But for now, I hope that you have a wonderful day, and I will chat with you really soon, okay? For now, rock on.